A higher-spec SP version of the MT-10 added a little more poise to the chassis, but in recent years the MT, in both formats, has started to show its age, especially in terms of electronic technology and rider aids. MT-10 was always on the thirsty side, and the brakes were lacking by modern standards, especially with top-spec Brembo-style calipers becoming increasingly proper in class. It was time for an update, which is why for 2022 Yamaha introduced a new MT-10. In terms of engine, the peak power was increased to 164 horsepower at 11,500 RPM, which is 5.5 horsepower up from the old bike. Torque was boosted a bit too, from 109.85 Nm to 112 Nm at the same 9,000 RPM, and Yamaha claimed the engine was 15% more efficient than before. Major updates were made to the electronics with the implementation of a 6-axis IMU, which means all rider aids became lean sensitive. Slide control, traction control, cornering ABS, front wheel lift control, and changeable engine brake strategies, as found on the R1, were linked to the IMU. Up and down quickshifter was installed as standard, along with cruise control, a speed limiter, and 4 riding modes. All this new info is clearly shown via a new 4.2-inch full-color dash. Now, the $16,899 version of the MT-10 gets all that plus braided brake lines, which accompany the new Brembo radial master cylinder which was introduced on the standard bike this year. SP is also distinguishable from the standard bike with the 3-piece belly cowl and R1M inspired colors. The update that will make the competition take serious note of the 2022 SP is its Generation 2 ohlins electronic suspension. New system features uprated NIX30 fork and a TTX36 rear shock fitted with new spool valve, SV, design which, according to ohlins, enables quicker damping adjustment than a conventional needle valve while providing increased sensitivity and responsiveness at the low and high ends of the adjustment range. It's a first for any production bike and replaces the older SP's KYB system while offering the rider 3 semi-active and 3 manual modes. The active A modes, A1 is the sporty track setting, A2 is more suited for the road, and A3 is the touring and comfort focus setting. S. Touring and comfort. M options lets riders electronically tune the suspension to individual taste, then store the settings. Generation 2 suspension adds 4.4 pounds to the weight of the bike, but there are many advantages to this system. The press of a button, suspension settings can be instantly changed while on the move, and you don't have to be a suspension nerd to get the best performance of the bike. Anyone can grasp the parameters and feel what the system is attempting to do. You certainly don't have to use tools or get your hands dirty. In fact, the 3 active settings create almost 3 bikes in one. Despite the upgrade, the base MT stoppers were still slightly dull and uninspiring when that bike was tested earlier in the year, but the SP stoppers were sharper on both road and track. This might be down to the braided lines, or maybe the pads had been bedded in differently. Meanwhile, despite best attempts at provocation, there was no indication of fade on track while the ABS wasn't too intrusive. Now riders can almost feel the induction noise as you open the throttle. Higher revs, the howling exhaust takes over, giving the Yamaha a character that no other Japanese bike can match. There's much to like about the MT-10, and the SP adds a shot of quality to an already excellent bike and gives the MT-10 even more versatility. New Generation 2 ohlins suspension modes mean the SP can be a composed track bike, complete with great feel from the tires. With a ride quality to match that of many dedicated tourers. What do you think about the new MT-10 SP? Do you add it to one of your collections? Tell us in the comment section below.